Worthington from Fort Cherry School District. We live in Mount Pleasant and Robinson Township in southwestern Pennsylvania, Washington County. My children attend the Fort Cherry School District, which is a very actively drilled area. As you can tell, I am a very busy mother, and I definitely have other things to do than drive to Harrisburg this day, dragging 3 children along, but this is an important message to bring. My daughter is 13 years old. 3 years ago, my daughter began to exhibit some very strange activities, and she started to sleep a lot. She started to have asthmatic-like conditions and was ultimately diagnosed with asthma. She had uncontrolled bloody noses, unexplained rashes, gastrointestinal disorders that sent us to the emergency room on more than one occasion. I do have medical records that show this, and it does correlate with the local gas and oil drilling that was going on in our area. Not only do we have local gas and drilling, but we have gas and drilling near our school. The Shirelli pad, which is an 8-well pad, is less than 1/2 mile from our school. The Toward, which is an 8-well pad, is also 1/2 mile from our school. And the new Yonkers pad, which is currently being drilled right now as we speak and about to be fracked in 6 to 8 weeks, is a 12 to 14 well pad, 0.7 miles from our school. My child is affected by what goes on around her. Our school district has taken very little activity or very little action against what is going on. Our township supervisors have taken very little action to have air monitoring. We have now invested in our own private air monitor, which my daughter carries from classroom to classroom. This air monitor was made for us by Echo Systems. It's a very sensitive air monitor, and it will pick up methane, benzene, toluene, and things that a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old should not have to worry about. My son sits in the elementary complex, which is right across the street from the high school complex. Both of my children spend approximately 8.5 hours there a day. It's terrifying. It's scary every day to send your kids out the door. You're always afraid when they get a fever. You're not sure if it's going to be the common flu or if something else is coming. 2 years ago, my daughter was holding her pencil in class. Suddenly, her pencil stuck in her hand, her elbow locked, and she couldn't move. The school nurse called me. I called the family doctor, and we ordered some testing. We ordered a full panel of testing at that time, which nobody would do for us for over 3 weeks because nobody's allowed to test for benzene. Even Quest and labs of that nature were not allowed to test. We finally found a lab that would test for us. It was sent to Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, and again, we have medical records. And 3.5 weeks later, my daughter truly was exposed to benzene at a low level. My daughter is now considered benzene exposed. Her increase for anemia and leukemia is much greater than anybody in this audience, and she suffers daily from the effects. Every time she gets a bruise or she gets a rash, we get scared. This is not the way that parents nor students should have to live. We need these methane regulations in place. We need more than these methane regulations in place. We need the DEP to start looking at what they're putting in one area. We need for the DEP and these drillers to start looking at what is a true safety zone of more than a mile away from our children. Pennsylvania is truly a place of opportunity for these drillers, but it's the home to our children. We need a safe home for our children. I would ask that we support Governor Wolf and these regulations. We support the DEP. You continue to write, you continue to let them know that our children do belong in a safe zone, and we need to look to see what is really happening. It's not something that could happen, it's something that did happen and is happening every day. Thank you.